Hello everyone, this is Stephen with SG Saber Design. Got probably a pretty quick one for you today. This is not a standard install. Roy got this Genobi or Obi-Wan Arena hilt and found that it would fit a chassis that I had already built for him, but it just needed an upper to control the chassis. So that's what we did. So there's not a whole lot I can show. Everything's inside. Here is an example. This is one of the last test prints I did on this chassis, so you can see how this works, Roy. Up top, you've got your emitter. This one has a Carl Chen V3. We've got two 6x6 by 3.1 tactile switches and a Smuggler's Outpost 6-rail pin side connector to match up with what your Xiphos has. Okay, so that's inside there, and it is held in by this set screw right here. Really not a big problem if you undo that. If you want it to come out, that's fine. It will slide out. These buttons will fall into the saber, so you'll have to reset them in there, and you'll have to kind of hold them down a little bit as you slide the chassis back in. You would just take this and hold the top of the button down a little bit while you slide over this little notch. And the reason for that is, when Roy sent this to me, one of his complaints was how much these buttons rattled. The hole in the hilt is bigger than the actual button because the button's not completely round. These chrome pieces do stick out, so it's not a perfect circle. So they were kind of rattly in there. So what I did was on the flange of each of these buttons, I ran a small bead of E6000 and then let that cure overnight outside the saber. And what that does is give me kind of a rubbery surface. So now when these are sitting up against the switches, there's a little bit of pressure holding them up against the hilt, and now they don't rattle at all, but they still work perfectly well. We have a blade plug designed by Mark Ryan here. It was custom designed for this hilt. It's pretty much everything we have here. We've got a single set screw right here. It's a 1.5 millimeter. Got our cover tech, and so to use this, you got to take the pommel off. You can see I've got a 3D printed spacer in here that's going to hold the chassis up against those pins. Which, there's no way you're going to see those deep down there, but you can see we put these strips of heat tape in here, and the reason for that is this has about a 29 millimeter interior diameter, and the Xiphos did not have a diameter that big. This is slightly smaller, and to stop it from rattling or moving away from those pins, just a couple pieces of tape is all it really needed. So we got this small chassis. We're going to turn it on, and we can just slide this in until it's all the way in. Screw on our pommel until it stops, and now we have our activation and our aux. Okay, let's go ahead and put in a test blade real quick. You can see this blade plug here. Not sure if I got that, but let's try it. Yep.
It is obvious that this contest cannot be decided by our force, but by our skills with the weight.
So that's really all there is to this saber. Like I said, that chassis, there's already a video on that. If you scroll way down, like I said, it's probably been about a year. Look for the Xiphos. You'll see that chassis video. But that's really all there is to this one. Just quick way to reuse this, or not reuse, but double its use. It can now be used in 2 of Roy's sabers. Turn that back off, and we'll pull this out and put the blade plug back in. And that's really all I have today, Roy. I'll talk to you shortly. I've also got the saber stands you requested ready to ship, as well as the pommel for your Star Killer. Has a Star Killer pommel that he wanted a cover tech wheel on, so I drilled and tapped that and installed that. And all of these things will be ready to ship later today. If anyone has any questions on this type of thing or any other install questions, please feel free to contact me, sgsaberdesign.etsy.com. Send me a message anytime. Or you can just comment on one of these videos. I look at everything that comes in there too. Everyone, I hope you had a great May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th. I know I had a very busy weekend. I had a lot of orders come in, so I'm very grateful to everyone that sends me work or even watches my videos. So everyone, may the force be with you, and we'll talk to you later.